The Blackwell mansion looked like a palace. Fairy lights on every window. A giant Christmas tree touching the ceiling. Expensive music playing softly in the background. But the real shock was the dining table. It was full. Golden roasted turkey. Mashed potatoes with butter shining on top. Soft bread rolls. Roasted vegetables. Cakes, pies, chocolates. Food for 30 people. But the guests had already left. Servants moved quietly, cleaning. Only one person stood still. Sophia. She wore a simple black maid uniform. Her feet hurt. Her back ached. But her mind was somewhere else. In a tiny apartment. Where her son John was waiting. With almost nothing to eat. She sighed and turned to carry plates back to the kitchen. When she heard a soft sound. A small stomach growl. She looked up. At the end of the huge table, a little boy stood alone. Michael Blackwell. 9 years old. Only son of billionaire Robert Blackwell. He wore a perfect suit. His hair was neat. His shoes shined. But his eyes were fixed on the food like it was magic. Sophia walked closer. "Michael," she whispered. He jumped a little. "Oh, hey, Sophia. You're still here?" she asked. "Yes. Dad is on a call," he said. His voice was small. "Did you eat enough at dinner?" she asked gently. He hesitated. "Dad said I had enough. He doesn't like when I eat too much. Chef said this food is for presentation." The way he said presentation made her chest hurt. Another soft growl came from his stomach. He looked down, embarrassed. "Have you ever felt hungry and ashamed at the same time?" Sophia glanced around. The hall was almost empty. She remembered Robert's cold voice before dinner. "No one touches the leftovers without my permission. Not staff. Not guests. Not even Michael. This is my house. My rules." Everyone had nodded, including her. Now she looked at Michael again. "Are you still hungry?" she asked softly. He looked up at her. His eyes were honest. "Yes. But I'm not allowed to ask." Something broke inside her. What kind of house has more food than people, but still lets a child go hungry? Her hands shook as she picked up a clean plate. She slowly served a little turkey. Some potatoes. A small piece of pie. "Sophia, you'll get in trouble," Michael whispered. She gave a small smile. "It's Christmas. No child should sleep hungry on Christmas. Not in a rich house. Not in a poor house. Eat." She warmed the plate in the kitchen. The smell of butter and spice filled the air. He took the first bite. Then the second. His shoulders relaxed. His eyes closed. "This is so good," he whispered. For a moment, the cold mansion felt warm. Then, a deep voice cut the air. "Sophia, care to explain what you're doing?" She turned. In the doorway stood Robert Blackwell. His eyes were sharp. His face was hard. And he had seen everything. If a billionaire values control more than kindness, what do you think he'll do now? The room felt smaller. The lights felt harsher. Sophia couldn't breathe properly. Michael dropped his fork. It hit the plate loudly. "Dad, he started. Robert raised one hand. Not a word. He walked toward them slowly. His expensive shoes tapped on the floor. Each step felt like judgment. His eyes moved from the plate, to Michael, to Sophia. "When I speak in this house," he said quietly, "do people treat my words as decoration?" Sophia lowered her eyes. "No, sir." "What was my rule?" he asked. She swallowed. "No one touches leftovers without your permission." "And yet," he said, "you decided you know better." Michael stepped forward. "Dad, please. I was hungry. I asked." "Michael," Robert said sharply, "go to your room." "But now." The boy's eyes filled with tears. He looked at Sophia, guilty and scared. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Then he ran upstairs. His small footsteps faded away. Robert turned fully to Sophia. "Why?" he asked. His voice was calm. Too calm. "He was hungry, sir," she said softly. "It's Christmas. I couldn't just watch." "You could have," he cut in. "That was your job. To follow orders." He took a step closer. "Do you think you're his mother?" Sophia's heart stung at that word. Mother. Yes, she was one. Just not his. "No, sir," she whispered. I know what hunger feels like." His jaw tightened. "Come," he said. "Let's show everyone what happens when someone disobeys me. Have you ever walked behind someone, knowing your life is about to change, and you can't stop it?" He led her to the staff hall. All employees were there. Emma, the cook. Evelyn, the nanny. John, the driver. The guards. Robert stood in front of them. "This will be a lesson," he announced. "This maid decided my rules don't matter. She secretly fed my son from a restricted table." Emma gasped. Evelyn covered her mouth. "Sir, she was just being kind," Emma began. He cut her off. "Kindness is useless without discipline. If I say no, it means no." He looked at Sophia again. "You people always think emotion is an excuse. You people. Like they were another species." Sophia's cheeks burned. She wanted to speak. To defend herself. But one wrong word could make things worse. "You are suspended," he said. "Effective immediately. No pay." Her stomach dropped. "No pay, sir? I have a son. Rent. School. That is not my concern," he said coldly. He turned to the guard. "Escort her out. She will collect her things from the back entrance tomorrow. She is not allowed in the main house again unless I say so." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. She blinked them away. She would not cry in front of him. She still had her pride. As the guard led her away, she felt all eyes on her. Some sad. Some helpless. On the stairs above, hidden behind the railings. Michael watched everything. He heard his father say, "You people." He saw Sophia's shaking hands. He saw her being treated like trash. For the first time, the rich little boy felt something heavy in his chest. Anger. And shame. When a child sees real cruelty for the first time, what do you think he'll do with that feeling? The ride home felt longer than usual. John, the driver, was quiet. "I'm sorry, Sophia," he said finally. "I wish I could do something." "It's okay," she replied softly. "This world doesn't change for people like us." But she thought of Michael. His small hands. His hungry eyes. "Maybe it does," she whispered, not sure why. They reached her building. It was old. Walls cracked. Lights dim. She climbed the stairs slowly. Her body felt heavy. She opened the door. Mom. John, her son, ran towards her. Bare feet. Big smile. He hugged her tightly. "You're late. I kept food for you." He dragged her to the little table. On it sat a single plate. A bit of rice. Some beans. A glass of water. "I already ate," he said proudly. "This is your share." She knew instantly. He lied. His arms were thin. His face a little too skinny. "Did you eat at school?" she asked gently. He looked away. "Yeah, kind of." "Have you ever heard a lie from someone who loves you, just so you don't feel bad?" She pushed the plate back toward him. "You eat," she said. "But, Mom, I had food at work," she lied. "I'm full." He believed her. Because he wanted to. After he finished eating, he took out a crumpled paper. "I made you something," he said shyly. It was a drawing. A big house. Windows. A garden. Two stick figures holding hands. This is our future, he said. You and me. We'll have a big house too. But our house will be nicer. Nicer how? She asked, smiling sadly. In our house, he said. No one will shout at you. And no child will sleep hungry. Her eyes filled with tears. She hugged him tightly. Later that night, when he was asleep, she opened their tiny fridge. Inside, half a lemon, 1 egg, a small bottle of water. That was all. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. This is Emma from the mansion. I'm so sorry about what happened today. Another message came quickly. After you left, Michael cried. He shouted at Mr. Blackwell. Told him he was wrong. Said you're the only one who cares about him. Sophia stared at the screen. Michael, the billionaire's son, defending her? A third message arrived. Sir watched the security footage many times. He's in his office. Not shouting. Not angry. Just thinking. I've never seen him like this. At the same time, in his huge office, Robert sat in front of a large screen. The video played on repeat. Sophia serving the plate. Her worried face. Michael's first bite. His small smile. His relief. Robert paused on that smile. Suddenly, he remembered himself as a child. Standing in a small kitchen. Staring at food he wasn't allowed to touch. A gentle hand. His grandmother. Pushing a plate toward him. Eat, Robbie. Your father thinks hunger makes you strong. I think love does. His chest tightened. He stood up suddenly. He opened Sophia's file. For the first time, he noticed her address. And then, the billionaire who thought he knew everything, picked up his coat and stepped out into the cold. What makes a powerful man leave his perfect world and walk into the life of the maid he just threw away? Guilt? Or something finally waking up inside him? Morning was gray and cold. Sophia woke up early. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She checked her phone. No calls. No messages from the mansion. She made weak tea with extra water. John was still asleep on the thin mattress. A sudden loud knock hit the door. She jumped. Her heart raced. Another knock. Strong. Confident. She opened the door carefully. And froze. Robert Blackwell stood in the doorway. In her broken hallway. In his perfect, expensive coat. For a moment, everything was silent. Sir, she whispered. What are you doing here? He didn't answer immediately. His eyes moved around the room. He stepped inside. He saw the small table, the single chair, the cracked walls, the almost empty fridge left slightly open. This is where you live? He asked quietly. She stood straight. Yes, sir. No apology. No shame. Just truth. John woke up and sat up, confused. Mom? Who is? She rushed to him. It's okay, Beta. This is Mr. Blackwell, the man I worked for. John quickly stood. Hello, sir, he said politely. Robert looked at the boy. Same age as his son. Different world. What's your name? Robert asked. John, he replied. I'm in 4th grade. Robert nodded slowly. Same as Michael, he murmured. He glanced at the school books stacked neatly on a box. Some old. Some torn. Why didn't you tell me you had a child? He asked Sophia. She gave a tired smile. You never asked, sir. That simple sentence felt like a slap. He cleared his throat. Get ready, he said. Both of you. I want you at the mansion. She stiffened. To fire me properly in front of everyone? She asked, her voice shaking. He shook his head. No. To fix what I broke. On the way there, John pressed his face to the car window. Mom, this place is like a movie, he whispered as they entered the rich neighborhood. Inside the mansion, the staff were waiting in the main hall. Emma, Evelyn, the guards, John the driver, and near the stairs, Michael. As soon as he saw Sophia, Michael ran to her. "Sophia," he cried. "I'm so sorry. I tried to make him stop. I told him you're kind. I told him he was wrong." She smiled and stroked his hair. "It's okay, sweetheart. You were brave. I'm proud of you." Michael looked at John. "Who's that?" he asked. "That's my son," Sophia said. "His name is John." The boys stared at each other. Same age, same height, different clothes, same nervous smile. Robert stepped forward. Everyone became silent. "Yesterday," he began, "I showed you how I punish disobedience." He looked at Sophia. "Today," he said, "I will show you how I punish myself when I realize I was wrong." The staff looked at each other, shocked. They had never heard those words from him before. But is he really going to change things? Or is this just another show of power? Robert stood in the center of the hall. All eyes were on him. "I grew up poor," he said slowly. "Most of you don't know that." Murmurs moved through the staff. "My father believed hunger makes boys strong. He locked food away. He said, 'If you're hungry, work more.'" He paused. "The only person who broke his rules was my grandmother. She sneaked food to me. She told me, 'You are a child. Children need love, not punishment.'" He looked at Sophia. "Yesterday, I watched the security footage," he said. "I didn't just see a maid breaking my rule. I saw my grandmother, in another body, feeding a hungry child when a stubborn man refused to." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "I punished the wrong person," he said. "I punished kindness." He turned to the staff. "So today, I changed the rules." He pointed toward the dining room. "From now on, no food in this house will be wasted. Every leftover will be packed. First, it goes to staff families. Then to shelters and hungry people outside." Emma gasped. "Sir, that could help so many." "Yes," he replied. "And I want someone with a real heart to manage it." He looked at Sophia. "You are not fired," he said. "You are promoted." She stared at him, shocked. "Promoted," she repeated. "Your new title is House Welfare Coordinator," he said. "You will manage food distribution and staff needs. Better salary, fixed hours, and transport for you and your son." Her hand flew to her mouth. Tears spilled over. "Sir, I don't know if I deserve this," she whispered. "You deserved better from the start," he answered quietly. He looked at John. "And you," he said, "will not worry about school again. From next term, you will study at the same school as my son. I'll pay everything. Fees, books, uniform." John's eyes went wide. "Really?" he whispered. Michael ran to him. "We'll be classmates," he said happily. "I'll show you the playground. You can sit with me at lunch so I'm not alone." John smiled. "I'll share my lunch too. When we have extra." They both laughed. That Christmas evening, the mansion's dining hall was full again. But this time, not with rich strangers. With staff families, neighbors, children who had never seen such food before. Long tables, warm food, real smiles. Robert stood at the head, with Michael on one side and Sophia on the other. "Tonight," he said, "I'm not just feeding people. I'm feeding the part of myself I buried when I became rich." He turned to Sophia. "You reminded me that a full wallet means nothing if you let a child stay hungry in front of you." She smiled through tears. "And you reminded me," she said softly, "that even a powerful man can change if he chooses to listen to his heart." The camera would close on two boys at the same table. Different backgrounds. Same laughter. A maid no longer afraid. A billionaire finally human. Backhand index pointing right. If you were in Sophia's place, would you risk your job to feed a hungry child, or stay silent to protect your own family? Speech balloon. And do you think someone like Robert really changed from the heart, or only because guilt caught him? Ask them to comment their answer and share their own stories of kindness or injustice they've seen.